Hello and welcome to D&D with High School Students presents the Medusas. We are live once again from the quarantine. Welcome to everybody who is joining us live on the chat. And if you're watching this later, welcome to you too. So before we begin, I want to say a huge thank you to my beloved patron Ann Adams for sending us some gaming headsets, which you will find Virginia and Andria are using. So Virginia, why don't you say hello first?
Hello, thank you.
And Andria?
Yeah, hello, thank you. It works well.
Yay, we can hear Andria. Great. So guys, let's do a quick recap. So upon getting to the town, you encountered a lot of interesting things and people. You learned some things about the lake and how pilgrims and devout worshipers of Vusake come to pay homage and to receive blessings. You actually attended one of the daily rituals and kind of got a chance to poke around and look around. When we last left off, on your way going around town, kind of getting geared up and supplied up, you came across a tent being guarded by two guards, and Bullstrong recognized the guards and the tent from an earlier encounter that he had had outside of the capital. Upon poking in further, you came to discover Baron Arzak, who you found is a diplomat, and the Baron's poor slave, Trizzle. You had an encounter. You actually abducted Trizzle, rescued him from the Baron, and you fled back to your inn where you got to know a little bit more about Trizzle. But right before getting to know a lot more about Trizzle magically disappeared, which you assumed is what he had referred to as the Baron's ability to summon him based on the magical shackle that you saw on his left leg. So we pick up where we left off. You guys are in a room. Trizzle is not in that room.
Poor Trizzle.
I know it's depressing, but I'm sure, because Bullstrong had seen him, you'd seen the Barons before, so I'm assuming in the future we could try to figure out where he's going, but we have to make sure that we focus on the lake first and get that done as soon as possible.
But we do have to save Trizzle.
I promise we will get to it.
Well, we know that they're headed or they're from the Mantirum, which is where we were already planning on going. So I feel like we will be able to reconnect with him closer to there. Because I don't know about you, but after what we did to that guy, I feel like he might be heading back to his home to recover.
Yeah, but Trizzle's probably gonna be in like deep trouble because we abducted him.
Well, that's the point, that he wouldn't be in trouble because he didn't he didn't just run off. I physically forced him to leave. There was no choice in the matter.
I feel like he'd still get in trouble.
Well, he's already literally a slave, so...
Yeah, but that means that he'd like receive more bad treatment.
I don't know if you know where the line is, but he's already getting bad treatment. We can get to him, and I understand that that is a lot of suffering, but you do also want to realize there is an entire section of this continent where there are slaves that are treated, even if they're not as bad as him, there are a bunch of tiefling slaves.
Yeah. In fact, you guys being in Kabul Kailash, the Mantirum is a huge area of the continent, filled with multiple cities and a lot of different geographical locations. So the fact is that now, having had some conversations and getting some information from Trizzle, that the Baron is an emissary or a diplomat. And based on the fact that the first time your group encountered him, which was when Bullstrong encountered him encamped outside of the capital, it would make sense that he is heading back to the Mantirum because he's gone east along this way. So You do recall that you had made a plan to meet up with Blazu again, and you guys had inquired if Blazu was able to find out any more information, and if possible, maybe any sort of magical concoctions that could help you. So around this time, you guys are, you're discussing this, and you head downstairs to the tavern, the open tavern in your inn. And in fact, as you're heading down the stairs, you hear a round of mugs being clinked together, and people cheer like a huzzah. And you see standing on a stool at the bar is good old Blazu. And there's like a cluster of people around him. And one of the people's like, tell another story, Blazu. What about the one with the purple worm? And he's like, yes, that is one of the more famous adventures. Yes. And he like looks over and sees you guys coming down the stairs, and he's like, oh, well, you'll have to excuse me, friends. I have an appointment, but Blazu will return. Yes, indeed. And he climbs down from his stool, and he walks over to a table, and he's like, my friends, come sit. And then he gets up on a chair at this larger table where there are all chairs for you guys.
Hello, Blazu. How are you?
Well, it's been an interesting afternoon. You guys sit down, and Blazu beckons to one of the innkeeper's kids, who brings over a platter of foods and a big pitcher of ale and some mugs, and you guys kind of begin eating and pouring drinks. Yes, well, to the matter of my inquiries, and the matter of your inquiries, perhaps more specifically, I have some information and perhaps something that could be of assistance to you. Now, as you well know, it is, and he looks around very carefully before he speaks, and he leans in closer. It is quite dangerous at times to consider breaching the sacred laws of Mukadas Suv. So after dinner, I would like to speak to you more privately, perhaps. But I did bring something that I could show you now. And he reaches into his cloak, and he pulls out this like wooden box, and he kind of shows you this wooden box. He's like, it appears to be just a simple wooden box, but my friends, I will demonstrate later in some more privacy how useful this could be to you. Yes. Blazu does have quite a few trinkets from the adventuring days, of course. So you guys eat, drink. Any questions or discussions that you want to have with Blazu while you're at the inn?
I just want to hear some of his stories.
So you ask, and he begins to elaborate on some stories. He starts telling you about the time that he was recruited by a grove of druids to drive out this nest of trolls from their sacred grove. He regales you with a story of how he sailed once up to the northern kingdom of the righteous domain of Parmia, and he assisted the theocracy up in Parmia in eliminating a great infestation of ogres. And these stories carry on throughout most of the evening. Now, those of you with proficiency and insight, I would like you to make a roll.
Nope.
Nope.
23.
Jordan, as Blazu is telling these stories, your almost divine sense of insight leads you to believe that none of them are true. Just while you are entertained by his tales, you're just like, yeah, this didn't happen. Like, you're like, this is not, there's too many like little subtle flawed details in the telling that make you pretty sure that like, this is not true. But everyone else seems to like be buying into it.
Okay.
And incidentally, more than once during your meal and during his tales, like random people will come over and like just stand next to your table and like listen to his story. And like somebody comes by with like a pie. Then they're like, Blazu, we made you a pie. And he's like, oh, thank you, my friends. Your generosity will be remembered. And like just random people, like fans, come up to him occasionally.
Yeah.
So you guys complete the meal with Blazu. Blazu reaches into his robe and sets down 2 pieces of gold on the table. And the innkeeper himself comes over and he's like, Blazu, thank you. And thank you folks for your generosity. He takes the gold. He's like, have a good evening. So
You too.
Blazu's like, come, my friends, let's go for a little evening stroll, shall we? So you guys begin walking with Blazu, and it's a slower pace because he only moves at 25 feet per round, small. But you take a stroll, you walk outside of town, and you're just walking along the coastline of the lake. It's a nice evening. There's like a cool, refreshing breeze coming off the lake. And you guys walk for a while. And while you're walking, Blazu continues with tales of his adventures. You know, he starts talking about the one time when he was the only person exploring the caves of chaos to the north, and all of the party had been killed off, and it was only by the luck and his vast knowledge of arcane spells that he was able to, you know, retrieve the treasure, just making shit up, basically. Like, but you guys totally buy into it. Now, after about a half an hour of walking, you guys are a couple miles out of the city. No one is around, okay? And Blazu kind of finds like a little spot to rest. There's like a stump of a tree. He sits down on the stump of the tree. And you're 20 feet away from the rocky coastline of the lake. He looks around one more time and he's like, well, my friends, let's get to brass tacks, as they say. You have a need, do you not? Let's be honest with each other. Blazu can perhaps help you, but I would like to know your intent first, before offering my full services. What say you?
Well, we do have to admit to a certain point of how open you've been with us. There are a little bit more than just plain treasure to our adventures. See, we've been traveling looking for a particular set of relic. I'm not sure what to call them, but I'm sure you're familiar with them when we asked you about the Godstones.
Yes, you had mentioned that, and I spent significant amounts of time in my library, which contains vast quantities of arcane knowledge. Jordan, make another roll.
11.
You seem to think that this part might be true. I was able to come across some lore. Now, I'm not familiar with the term that you have used, but I do know that there are elemental crystals which are said to contain divine power which can enhance magic involving those specific elements. Now, if this is true and what you speak of is something akin to the elemental crystals, then I assume that you are here to find one such crystal.
This is true.
And am I also to assume that it is your intent to search the lake for such a crystal?
This is also true.
Yes, I had surmised this, which is why I feel that perhaps the most helpful gift that Blazu can share with you would be this. And once again, he pulls out this like little box. He's like, now, this came across in some of my many adventures, is a highly useful thing. I would share it with you, and I do not seek any such reward or payment. However, if you are caught, you must not divulge the fact that Blazu Orc Smasher was the one who gave you this object.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I do not wish for my superb reputation to be tarnished. Yes, yeah, Blazu. Now, this device has multiple functions. but it does require magical keywords to activate those functions. I can entrust this with one of you and teach you the uses of it. Who among you is brave enough and wise enough to take on the responsibility for my rather wondrous item?
I think I might be.
Okay.
Are you sure?
He looks
Yes.
at the red-skinned tiefling. Very well. I will demonstrate it and teach it to you here. The task I appoint to the rest of you is to keep a lookout. And I mean truly keep a lookout. Although the coastline of the lake is not regularly guarded, there are occasionally monks who go on perimeter patrols. It would be rather disadvantageous to be caught doing what we're doing. So, my tiefling friend, come with me.
All right.
So he walks down by the water line with Amity, and he begins explaining. And you guys can kind of overhear what he's explaining, but he begins to show the box, and he's explaining these different functions and words. And then all at once, he starts to pull the box apart and unfold it. And it becomes, as he's laying it out, like on the rocky coastline, you see it become like a smaller boat. And he sets it down. And then he whispers a word to Amity. And then Amity like says the word. And then it becomes like a medium-sized boat. Like one that all of you could get into. He goes, now there is one more command word, which would create a much larger ship. However, this is not the depth for such a ship. The last command word to create a larger ship could only be done in a proper harbor. Otherwise, the hull of the ship would be damaged by the shallow lake bed. Now, this medium-sized boat, or even the small one, is probably enough for all of you. But given your two Goliath friends' size, I would recommend that you create the medium-sized boat a bit further out from the shoreline so that you have enough clearance so you don't damage the hull. Now, the final command words to collapse the boat back into its original portable form is this, and he whispers the word to you. So upon demonstrating this, and by the way, this is like a half an hour of time. He says the command word to collapse the boat and gathers it up, shakes the water off of it, and then he hands it to Amity. It will take you some time tonight to attune to this powerful magic. You must study it, think about it, meditate upon it. But I guarantee if you focus your mental energies, you will be able to use it by tomorrow at around this time.
All right.
So I would appreciate, after you use it, if you would consider returning it to me. It is a valuable and wondrous item. But I will loan it to your group because I believe that you are pure of heart, and that if you seek to find an elemental crystal amongst the sacred lake, that your intent is one of good and not evil.
Okay.
So, my friends, let's walk back to town.
Thank you.
So you guys walk with Blazu back to town, and Andria, you are now in the possession of a foldable boat. You guys get back into town. I want everybody to make a perception check.
7.
17.
11.
25.
Oh, 25, eh? As you're walking, like you walk into the gates of town, like past the wooden palisades, and you see there's like, as many villages and towns have, there's kind of like a post with like a board across it where people post notices and stuff. And you notice there's a familiar sketching drawn in some kind of chalk or charcoal rather. And it's a wanted poster, Magnus. And you notice that the face on the wanted poster is in fact that of Bullstrong.
Oh.
And as you look closer, you see that this poster, this wanted poster, does not have Bullstrong's name, but it does have like a crude sketch of his face and like the words like large Goliath, wanted for questioning by the constables. And there's like several words of caution, like could be armed. So you notice this as you're walking back into town. Now, once you're back into town, Blazu turns to you guys and he's like, I will be retiring for the evening at my cottage, but do come find me after your adventures. Cheers,
Thank you
my
for your
friend.
help.
Good luck with your tasks.
Thanks.
Farewell.
Lazu walks off in the direction towards his little small people cottage neighborhood. All right, so you guys are in town. It's still evening, like it's dark basically, but like the businesses in town that are open, most of them have lanterns hanging out in front or on their porch. You do see a few inns. The weather's nice, so most of the window shutters are open, and you hear people and laughs and some music from some of the inns and whatnot. Is there anything that you guys want to do specifically before you go back to your inn?
I'm gonna pull Bullstrong aside for a minute and be like, "Hey, man, I'm just walking by, and did you know that you're wanted?"
Yes, many women want me.
I
Why?
mean, I'm sure many women want you, but also you're actually like actually wanted, like it's a legal thing.
That could be a completely different Goliath. There's many Goliaths with my same exact haircut and damaged eye.
But it looks like exactly like you.
Okay, but what does this mean?
That's what I'm asking you. What? So were you aware of this?
I think the Baron's mad, or the gnome Terry that's in the woods. I scammed him out of 5 gold, so he could be mad. Or there was a cat that I pushed out of the way when I went to the tavern.
That's so mean. I love kitties.
Dirt, I step on it. I don't know.
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna hate you a little bit for the cat thing, but not that much. So, are you okay discussing this with everyone?
Sure, why not? I mean,
All right, cool.
I assume that you guys are talking about this while you're walking back toward the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so guys, I saw a wanted poster with Bullstrong's face on it. So this seems like it could be an issue.
Yeah,
Well,
it seems
yeah.
like something that might be a result of you guys screwing around with the Baron to an
Okay.
unending degree. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing because he is a bad person, but we did cause a ginormous ruckus. Anyways, and I pull out back in the hideout when we got those black cloaks, I grabbed one that didn't fit me. I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna say, can you like put this over your head, like maybe a hood or something, so people can't recognize your face at least?
yeah, I'm gonna make an elaborate ninja mask.
Okay, you fold it around your head, and it's kind of like a shawl and a hood. Okay.
So, but if it was something like the Baron, I feel like Bullstrong would not be the only one that's wanted.
Bullstrong's the only
He-
one who actually like assaulted the Baron.
I don't know if it's assault.
He's the only one who
put the man
physically
in a
touched him.
headlock, Bullstrong.
I
Um,
don't-
that might be assault.
So I don't know why you don't feel
Well,
assaulted.
that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm just saying, I don't know what kind of mountain laws you follow, but here in civilization, when you grab a official by the neck and threaten them, they don't usually take too kindly to that.
It's a fair
Well,
point.
where we come from, when you take an official and you put him in a headlock, you become the official.
Exactly. That's what I thought was gonna happen, and then I could free the slave and then own the 2 guards and make them both kill each other.
I mean, did he deserve it? Absolutely.
Yes.
Like I do not like what you did.
Amity,
That
the
was
only good thing you
a-okay.
did,
Perfectly
Make
fine.
Amity use the bathroom in his pants. That was the only good thing that
I do
occurred.
not want to recall that.
It's okay. We don't remember it, right, guys? Nothing happened.
You guys are about 60 feet from your inn. You could see it just down the street. And as you're walking up, you notice there are 5 militia guards outside, standing outside of the inn.
Oh my god, guys, we gotta sneak out here.
Okay, so
Now, they do not seem to have seen you yet. So what do you do?
Yeah.
what
Sneak
we're gonna
off.
do? No, guys, listen. What we can do is, I think Areia was the only one who didn't actually like piss them off. So what if Areia goes into the inn that we were staying at, and she gets our stuff, and we leave, and we just don't go in? Because if either way, if Bullstrong walks up, they're gonna arrest him. They might arrest us too, because we were still going where we weren't supposed to. I like stole a slave. I don't think that's allowed, but
Maybe not. It's fine.
if like Amity and Areia want to go up there, because they're the only ones that didn't actually like commit
Well,
crime.
Amity went in there.
But I didn't get like a bad rap from it, I would say.
Wait, they liked you, right?
No, one of the guards did grab Amity and tried to stop him from going into the tent.
Wait, no, Amity, they invited you in.
To shit.
Oh, yeah, but to make fun of him.
Yeah.
But they still invited you in, which means you're actually probably the best. I mean, both of you, maybe you, are the best shot.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Yeah,
of
I
you
mean-
just
Yeah, we can go in, Amity,
I
and
can
just grab
talk to
stuff.
him.
no. You're not talking to anyone.
Okay, so I need to know who's with who and who's going where.
Amity and I
yeah.
are going to go in and grab all of our stuff from our rooms and like check out, and the 3 of them are gonna go
We're
head
gonna
out
like
of town.
duck in an alleyway and wait for them to get our stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna sneak off.
Okay. All right. So Areia and Amity, you guys walk up to the inn a few minutes after the rest of them sneak off to an alley. And when you're walking up, you notice like one of the guards like turn and look at the 2 of you, and like one of them holds up a sheet of paper and looks up at you, looks down at the paper, and like whispers to one of them. And one of the guard goes, "Hey, you there, halt. Let me get a closer look at you." And they're pointing at you, Areia.
Okay.
They
I,
walk
like,
up
shrug-
and they're like, "Oh, it's female. Never mind. Go ahead."
Okay.
And then they like kind of resolve to look around. So you guys go into the inn, and it's, you know, about as busy as it was the previous night. There's a fair amount of people having drinks, having food. There's like a couple minstrels in the corner playing some music, and you guys start to head upstairs. The innkeeper comes over to you as you're about to go up the stairs, and he grabs the banister of the stairwell, and he's like, "My friends." He looks behind him out the door, and he's like, "The constables were in here looking for your other friend, the large male Goliath. They said that they wanted him for questions."
Yeah, unfortunately there was kind of a scuffle outside of town a little earlier, and he ran off. So we were just coming to get our stuff and go look for him.
Ah, I see. Make a deception roll.
I'm not good at that.
Just thinks that you're completely
You can
blind.
do it.
Oh, that's like
I got you just in case.
We're dead.
That's
a
you got it.
9.
He goes, "Oh, outside of town?" He goes, they said that
I don't recall. We were too busy flaunting in the streets looking for supplies. You know, it happens.
I see. Very well. Are you going to be staying then, or checking out?
Well, we're just coming to collect all of our stuff and check out and go looking, so.
Mhm.
I see. Well, it was a pleasure having you, and I will tally your tab and meet you back here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Walked off back by the bar. So you guys go up to your rooms. You go into your rooms. Everything's still there.
I start grabbing the stuff and I lift up like the cage with the hedgehog and I say, keep or throw.
Throw.
And I lift up the one with the tarantula and I say, keep or throw.
Possibly keep.
Okay, and then I lift up the bird, keep or throw.
It's a Goliath. We should keep it, just in case
Alright.
for my health.
Okay, I just pick up all of our stuff and I start taking it out.
Okay, so between the two of you, you guys gather up everything. You're packed, like everybody's bags, all their equipment, all the animal cages, and you descend to the stairs. The innkeeper comes up to you and he shows you his tabulation for your stay, and it's for the 2 rooms and all the meals and everything, it's going to be 2 gold.
Oh,
Okay.
where's Sinjin?
That's a good question. Where is not in the rooms, not with you.
Is he with them out in the...
She hasn't been with you all day, not since the temple.
Oh, true.
All right.
Possibly at the temple or something.
All right. I'm going to put 4 gold down, and I'm going to tell the innkeeper, thank you so much for your hospitality. So
Yes,
we're
thank
just
you.
we're just going to leave town now. So thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you for your
Thank you.
generosity.
You're welcome.
So you guys leave.
hmm
You notice that the militiamen seem to have spread out more. Like there's still 2 of them outside of the inn, but like there's another one down about 60 feet down on each block, and they all have like lanterns.
Okay. Amity, should you and I just head out of town and then have them meet us? Because I don't think we're super inconspicuous when we're carrying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, rather suspicious. We should follow with your plan.
Okay, so I'm gonna rub the tattoo on my arm and send a message to Capella and say, Amity and I are heading out of town separately. We'll meet you where we met Blazu earlier.
Jennie, you feel the Medusa tattoo burning on your arm, and then you hear a telepathic message from Areia. So you guys proceed. As Areia and Amity are waddling out of town, full of all these items, Capella, you receive the message to meet them outside of town, south of the town. So I'm assuming you, Bullstrong, and Magnus will head there?
Yes.
Okay. Magnus, you 3 are walking towards the outside of town, and you kind of notice over your shoulder that, like, as there are people on the street coming and going in multiple directions, you see one figure that's like about 60 feet behind you, kind of in the crowd, that seems to be following you guys. Like, you turn down a street and then that person turns down the same street. You can't quite get a good look at them without being, while being discreet. But from what you could see, they seem to be like a medium-sized humanoid person with like a black cloak and hood and some kind of mask. Like, you can't even really see their skin. Covered in black, head to toe.
Interesting. So where exactly are we right now? Just on like a random street?
You're about 4 blocks from the southern gate of the town.
Okay. So can we turn down an alley?
Yes.
Okay.
You communicate this to Capella and Bullstrong?
Yeah, I softly say, hey guys, I think there's someone following us. Let's turn down an alley and then like make a sharp turn and wait behind the wall for him to see if he's coming after us.
When isn't there someone following us?
Yeah, but like it's kind of important, especially since Bullstrong's kind of wanted.
Well, do you know? Does it look like an officer or a guard or a?
No, it doesn't look like any official militia person or anyone from the town.
Oh, so it's probably like the assassin thief dudes again, yeah?
That's what I was thinking. But we should surprise him, like turn down an alley and then like make a sharp turn and wait like behind the corner there until they turn the corner and be like, ha.
Do you want to fight in an alley?
Yeah, sure.
No, let's just hurry up. Come on, we gotta get out of town anyways.
No, we
Okay.
gotta confront this guy.
So what's it going to be? Alley or continue walking to the south of town?
Alley.
You guys go with her?
I've never fought with a mask
Fine.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. So the three of you dip into an alley. Smash cut back to Amity and Areia. You guys are walking down the street. None of the constables are following you. You get to the southern gate. You don't see your friends. Do you continue walking outside of town? Or do you wait there?
You're just like, well, bye.
Let's
They,
wait for a second so we collect our thoughts, I guess.
yeah, we'll wait for another second to see if they answer or.
Both of you
we
make
should-
perception checks.
15.
15.
It doesn't, I mean, you do see people walking around town, but you don't see your friends.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna cast message as a spell and send it again to Capella. And I'll say, where are you guys? Please reply to this and let me know because we're waiting for you.
Okay, Capella, you're in the alley. You get a message from Areia.
Okay. Isn't message the one where you can like do the one reply?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can reply.
Okay, so then the one reply is just, sorry, Magnus is distracted. I think the red star again is following us.
I turn to Amity and say, apparently the Red Star is following them again.
Oh, so they're
Is
brave,
that-
huh?
Does that mean that we should go back?
With all the supplies.
Yeah, what are we gonna do with all this stuff?
That's right. I don't want to carry this. I guess we have to go back.
Okay, can we at least find somewhere to put all this stuff?
Yeah, let's find a hidden area, like somewhere people don't like walk to.
Yeah, can we try to put our stuff in somewhere like off the path where people won't find it?
Yeah, I'll have you make a roll to like disguise it basically. Either one of you can make a stealth check to
Okay.
see if you can kind of disguise it. I mean, there's a couple different like alleys where there's just random crates and boxes and stuff. And then there's also some bushes, you know, within the gate, like near one of the buildings. So,
Okay, I'll
Um,
cast guidance on Amity.
Okay.
Okay.
And I say, please hide our stuff well.
make a stealth check. And then you can add a
Not
D4.
nat 20.
Okay.
And then add another D4 to it.
2.
To
Okay.
22.
You do a excellent job. It just basically looks like a pile of like refuse. So you kind of integrate it in with some broken crates and next to some barrels, and you kind of put like half of a tarp over it. So
Mhm.
you leave the stuff there. That takes a few minutes. Meanwhile, smash cut back to the three. You guys are waiting, and you see the black cloaked hooded person walk by the alley. Not into the alley, but just like walk by.
Okay, let's just keep going then. They passed us. What else? What do you think they're gonna do? Walk into an alley and like fight us?
Yeah.
No. People don't fight in streets. I don't know where you guys were raised, but this is a town.
I'm pretty sure I've
Alley,
done
though.
it multiple times now.
Okay. So,
So
what do you do?
Let's go to the south gate. Come on. I
All right.
want
Okay.
to walk.
You
But if
guys
we
start
see
walking.
him again,
I'm gonna
You-
start walking.
You guys walk out of the alley, and before even walking out, you like look in the direction where he had walked past, and you don't see him.
that's weird. Can
Um,
I do a perception check?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That sucked. 19.
Okay, you don't see them. You look down the street, you look on the rooftops, you look in your bushes, and everything within your field of vision, you don't see them.
Okay.
Okay,
I guess-
so you guys walk to the south gate, and as you're walking to the south gate, you run into Amity and Areia.
Oh, okay.
So
Hi.
you guys see each other. And you're about a block from the south gate. So you head back to the place where you hid all of your stuff and you find it. It's all there. So everybody gets their own stuff and you guys have your stuff.
Wait, so where were you guys? Being
Yeah.
attacked? We spent like 5 minutes hiding all of our stuff in the dirt to come get you.
Sorry. Okay, so there was this guy who, he was looking kind of ninja-like, right? So we thought he was, and he was following us, and we thought that was kind of sketch. So I was all prepping for like an alley fight, but we turned down an alley and he didn't follow us. But I still have a bad feeling. But like, we lost him, so
Okay, well, I guess we'll keep an eye out, but we should just get out of town.
I bet it was Capella's idea.
Oh, shut up.
All right. So you guys head out of town. You're walking down the south road and you walk a couple miles south. You're well outside of town. You're actually kind of near the area where Blazu was with you guys when he was demoing how to do the boat. So my question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to set up a camp or what's your plan?
A camp sounds like a good idea.
yeah, probably camp.
Yeah.
I
Should
can
we go?
How close do you want to be to the lake? Give me some idea.
I don't think we should be super close because I
That's
don't
what I
want to.
thought.
I don't want, like, Blazu said that sometimes they patrol, like do perimeter, and I don't want to be anywhere near it when if they come by.
Yeah, they're like a further enough deniability where it seems more like even if somebody saw that, it's arguable that we might just be in the forest for fun.
Okay. So, I mean, give me an idea, like 100 yards, a half mile, a mile or two.
A half mile?
Probably, yeah, a half mile to a mile, and then we could always just trek down.
Okay. So you guys actually head off the road. You go a bit west of the lake, and you find a nice spot where there are some trees and level ground, and it's decent enough to set up a camp. So you get out all of your stuff. You set up your bedrolls. Do you make a fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get a fire going. You break out some rations. Actually, you guys aren't even that hungry because you had like a big banquet with Blazu. So
I am.
you are. Okay. So you have some rations. You got a fire going. You're comfortable. Are you doing watches? If so, who's on first, second, third?
Who's on second?
I'll take second.
Okay, I can take third watch.
I'll take last.
Oh, you want to take last? Okay, I'll take first then.
Okay. So first watch. Areia, roll a d20 and tell me what the straight number is.
2.
Okay. So you do your watch. Everything goes smoothly. You wake up Magnus.
Yes.
Okay. You go to bed. Magnus, you wake up. Roll a d20. Tell me the straight number.
17.
Okay. Everything goes fine. You wake up Amity. Amity, you've gotten your long rest in. Make a d20 roll.
9.
Okay. So you guys get through the whole night. Everybody's gained the benefits of a long rest, spells, hit points, all that stuff. In the morning, you guys, you have a nice camp. It's a nice day. It's not raining. The sun, the warmth of the sun is coming up. And Amity, you have this wooden box. So you begin to study it. You think about it. You actually lay it out. You don't use the activation words because you're on dry land, but as you're studying it more and thinking about what Blazu told you, while everybody else is like waking up and having breakfast, it occurs to you that the options that you guys have, the small boat version can't accommodate your whole party. So that if you want to be able to make the larger ship version, you would have to make the small version or go out into the water away from the coast to make the larger version. In game terms, basically the smaller boat can only handle 4 people, 4 medium-sized creatures comfortably. Now you could do the small boat and somebody could swim alongside it if you want to maintain the small boat. The other thing that you realize as you're studying this and thinking about it is that you're not sure if any of your group mates has proficiency in boats, in water vehicles. Does anybody have that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it would probably, if you did, it would come from a background. So unless you have that proficiency, that also kind of limits you to rowing. Anybody can row, but you know, the actual sailing component, unless you have that water vehicle's proficiency, yeah, being able to do that would be a challenge.
No sailors from the mountains.
Mountain sailor.
I mean, it is a small lake. It's not a small lake, but it's just a lake. I feel like maybe sailing would cause attention.
Yeah. So if you wanted to use the smaller boat, it does have a pair of oars. So someone could row, and then you could have 3 other passengers, but that still leaves 1 person that would have to like swim alongside the boat.
Anybody good at swimming?
Yeah, who could be the swimmer?
Swimming would be covered under athletics. So if you have proficiency in athletics and you have a decent roll, it should be a relatively easy swim.
Yeah,
I have proficiency in athletics.
I do.
Okay. The other question is, of course, anyone swimming should not be encumbered with armor or heavy items.
Yeah, so that's
So
not
he's
going to be me.
trying to just say that I'm swimming.
So me or you, bud?
I'm completely naked.
I'm good at
Cool.
swimming, but I've got a bunch of heavy armor on, so probably not.
Okay. So you guys, you know, spend the morning, and like I said, while Amity was on watch, he can, you know, he studied the box. He feels his understanding of it is strong. You have breakfast. You know, you discuss all these different options. So by the time all this stuff is done and you guys pack up your camp, it's about 9 a.m. So what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Okay, so we should talk about things before we like get started.
It seems like a great time to sneak into a highly guarded lake right now.
Yes, right.
It's
Fantastic.
I think we should wait until
The bird
night.
gets the worm, as they say.
So are you swimming, Bullstrong?
Sure. Just
Yeah, I guess
If
he
you
can
want, I
swim.
could, but
We
I
can put
guess-
the axe in the boat and you can.
me and my
swim.
axe can swim amazingly. I hook it around my neck and I go.
Yeah,
that
so
sounds like a bad idea.
A bird doesn't swim, he flies. He's a bird.
yeah, so Bullstrong can swim, and then I can row if you want.
Like a plan.
What else?
Wait,
First
so
of
why do we have
all-
the potions? I'm lost.
Of underwater breathing, because this orb might be underwater. We don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So if it's underwater, then we'll have to dive under to get it. Also, Amity, where's St. John?
I mean, we saw him go to the her go to the temple, but not. We don't know.
Yeah, is there like a way to contact St. John and find out where she is?
Is there?
Um,
You have spells.
I don't
Sinjin!
think-
Shut up.
That's my spell casting.
Yeah, nothing from my spell deck, I would say.
I don't think I have anything.
I guess I could try to contact St. John. I'll cast message to St. John and ask
What's
St.
the
John.
range on message?
It's only like 120 feet. I have to.
Yeah, you reach out, but do not sense a St. John in your area.
Yeah. Okay.
She'll come around eventually.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess we'll do it at night, then we'll go out there.
And then we
Okay, so what do you do during the day? Do you stay at this camp? Do you move? What do you want to do?
Trizzle!
We can't save Trizzle in a day. We're already
We can save Trizzle!
when we go to the Montirum, that's probably where the Baron's from anyway, because that's where they have tiefling slaves. I don't think he's gonna go over to the other. I don't even remember what it's called right now. The other place where like tieflings are the rulers. I don't think he's gonna go there with a slave. So I would assume.
We could. It's just an option though.
Yeah,
I think we could do it.
I don't think that we can go back into town because one of us is actively wanted and being searched by the guard.
Oh,
We could just split up.
I don't think that that's a good idea.
Probably not, but you know.
The last time that we split up, one of us ended up a wanted person.
We could search for the ninja dude that was following us.
He's probably still in town though.
I think we should just stay out of town.
I don't know. Up to you guys.
Magnus, just play with your tarantula. That's what
Okay.
why are you gonna pet? Just
should we scope out the temple today just to see like what they do on the daily, maybe?
well, we kind of know.
It was like a festival, right?
No, it's they do their rituals per day, where they come out and they do the blessings, but
Yeah, they do it like morning, afternoon, evening.
yeah.
So our best bet is to go like in the dead of the night. So.
But is there? I also was wondering, and I'm not saying we need to go research this or ask, but like, are there like creatures? Because I'm not super familiar with water. I'm not a sailor. Are there creatures that can be in the water that might be in the lake that are like dangerous? Like not like fish, not like little frogs, but like dangerous things?
That would be a question of your knowledge of the lake or a history check. But I'm going to say because you guys aren't necessarily from here, the difficulty is going to be a little bit higher. But anyone could make that check of their history.
Can I?
I am from the mountains, so I have no idea. I also have a -1 to int.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a go.
Being a mountainous man of nature and outsideness, could I also just generally think about it and go with like a survival check about, thinking of like the area? And
Yes.
These types of plants mean this typically.
Okay, it's your survival, because my history didn't do it.
Yeah, because survival will be a lot more helpful than history.
Okay, so I got a 22.
22.
I'm proficient in history.
Okay.
22.
All right.
23.
23 for survival, 22 for history. All right, I'll give you the perspectives that each of you would have gathered. From the historical perspective, you have heard of legends that the sacred lake is guarded, not just by the monks, but that there are like devout servants of Vusake, like mythical servants of Vusake that guard the sacred lake. Descriptions are not something that would have made it into any historical record, because it's almost like a Loch Ness monster situation where like there's rumor and myth around it, but like no one's ever seen the guardians. But you do know that that's like part of the folklore. Now, from a survival perspective, you know that this is a freshwater lake fed from a mountain river, and that mountain river comes from the mountainous area that you are in. You do know that even in the mountains from where the snowmelt comes from, that there are aquatic creatures. not necessarily known to live in the river, but like that live around it and near it. But nothing nefarious or monstrous, at least, that you've heard of.
Okay, so I tell the group this, that there might be guardians, but we don't really know. There are tales of it, but no one's like, it's not a for sure thing. Which I know doesn't, it's not super helpful, but it's a little bit helpful.
What was your survival perspective?
So Bullstrong's just gonna kind of go off about turtles and frogs and stuff and be like, well, this bulrushes right here, this should probably be good for like leopard frogs, bullfrogs, cane toads. This algae here could be great for tadpoles. We could use those for bait, or they make a great stir fry.
Yes. Precisely.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not really scared of a tadpole, but the guardian thing, that's a little concerning.
You ever been bit by a pepper snake? I mean, whoo.
Yeah, so there's tale of guardians, but no one really knows. So it's a possibility. And if we do get caught by guardians, then I don't know. So we should probably have sort of a game plan for that.
We fight them? I mean,
I suppose, but how would that work underwater? Like,
I swing really hard.
swing really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an option. Swing really, really hard.
I mean, I'm just imagining like a water-themed equivalent of Warsu. You see what I'm saying? Probably not the same idea, but like that's what I'm getting at. That maybe like each god might have some kind of thing. Like I know that there are creatures that exist that are just elemental, but maybe that exists. I don't know. But I think we could fight it. Who knows? Unless it's like really scary. Then we can't. Then we die.
Yeah,
we can do it. We're not gonna die, right, guys?
I don't know.
I have faith in us.
There's a lot of unknowns, so I think that we should just be ready to flee.
What's our escape plan, though?
Our escape plan is that we get Amity to the surface or wherever that we need to go, and then he pulls out the boat, and then we just go as fast as we can.
Well, we have to give the boat back to Lazu after, too.
Well, yeah, but like if we have to escape really quickly, that's how we're gonna get out of here. Unless anybody knows any like teleportation spells.
I believe there's a negative on my end.
Because I don't, so
Definitely not.
I can protect us as much as possible, but I can't like get us somewhere faster.
So, how then do you spend your day?
So the options I'm hearing: save Trizzle, look for Ninja Bro, play with my tarantula. That's what I got so far.
I think we should just stay out here camping, rest up. You spell people, you can like make sure your spells are ready. You know, are like martial people don't need to get themselves tired before we actually have to row or fight or swim.
Right.
And you could play with your pets because that's what we have them for.
But we could always use an extra blade or like fingers, I guess, in St. John's case.
I mean, if Amity wants to try to go back into town and go to the temple and find their pet.
Yeah, just call it. Like, here, girl.
Yeah, I mean, if
That's so mean.
She follows me. Thank you very much.
I guess
Sinjin's a person.
I guess if Amity and Magnus wanted to try to go back into town and look for Sinjin or whatever, as long as you don't actively get into any trouble.
I won't.
Because,
We
Then-
never get into trouble, right, Amity?
No.
but
Never.
if you
Buffoonery.
do, I mean, you guys have your tattoos, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So you can always let us know, I guess. But just like look, don't draw any attention to yourselves.
We will be involved in zero tomfoolery. None.
0.
Absolutely
Never.
no tomfoolery.
Yeah, and just try to be as quick as possible if you
Okay, we're
Fine,
speedy boys. We'll get it done.
can. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Bullstrong, you are staying here. You are not going back anywhere.
I mean, that's fair.
So me,
So-
Bullstrong, and Areia can stay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Amity and Magnus, you guys head back towards the town.
Mm-hmm.
When you get within a few hundred yards of the town and you're kind of back on the path leading to the town, you notice the usual crop of like people coming and going, mostly coming into town. Some wagons with people, some pilgrims like on foot, some people on horseback. You get into town and you go through the gates, no problems. So where do you go?
Well, if I were Sinjin, where would I be?
Probably the temple. I mean, makes sense, right?
To the temple.
All right.
You guys froze up for a second.
Oh.
So say that again.
Oh, to the temple.
To the temple.
The temple.
I think it actually might be my connection that's unstable. All right, so you go to the temple and you guys get to, within 100 feet of the temple, you see the nice, beautiful landscaped grounds. You see the temple itself. And sitting over by one of the meditation ponds, you see Sinjin. And Sinjin basically is like seated in like a meditative pose and is just like kind of staring into the pond.
Well, I don't want to freak her out, but I mean, we should probably go up and say hi.
Yeah, let's just bump her.
No, not bump, just like lightly tap.
Okay.
Lightly bump.
Sinjin looks up and she's like, "Oh, hello, my friends."
Did you care to tell us you were leaving? Like, what?
I have not left. I have been here
In that context, I meant
all
as a
night
group,
It's
meditating.
okay. We're not mad at you. We were just wondering where you were.
but disappointed in you. Like, you were supposed to follow me. That's the point.
I'm
Your
not
purpose.
disappointed in you. That's not your purpose. It's okay.
She doesn't seem phased either way. She's like, I spent the night here. in
Oh, okay.
meditation."
They let you stay the night here.
No one seemed to bother me.
Well, what were you thinking about?
Nothingness.
Is she wearing like the clothing for the? Oh yeah.
Same her same like white robe, and she has like one of the blue prayer shawls that they give out. So she stands up and she takes the shawl off and folds it gently and sets it down on a table outside of the temple. She's like, I find that I am hungry, maybe because I haven't eaten since yesterday.
All right.
Do you want to go get some food?
Certainly, that would be nice.
spoiling it?
So she follows you guys. Where do you want to go?
To the camp. That's where we make food. Yes.
But do we have food at camp?
Yeah, you have rations.
Okay. Then yeah, let's go to camp.
Make perception checks, both of you.
Okay.
9.
Sorry, I'm gonna do it on my handy dandy book here. 26.
Oh, okay. So about a half mile out of town, you notice that there's like a pilgrim wearing just common traveling clothes and like carrying like a sack over his stick. Like he's on the path about 100 feet behind you guys, just walking. But he's like the only other person on the path walking in the same direction as you.
Is he following us?
I don't know.
Um,
You know what? I'm gonna approach him.
Okay.
mm,
You stop and turn, and you start walking towards him. He continues walking, and when he's about 10 feet away from you, he stops and he's like, "Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. I just attended the morning service at the temple of Usake. I feel blessed and pure, ready to
Fantastic.
make my way and find some work.
Wow. Okay. Where are you headed?
Well, I'm headed south towards the coast. I'm hoping to find some work on one of the fishing boats.
Oh. Well, mind if we tag along?
Are you heading to the coast?
We're just bopping.
Oh, okay, certainly. He's like, my name is Ven.
Ven, nice to meet you. I'm Magnus.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Sinjin and Amity.
yes, hello.
Well met. So he's walking and he's like, so you're from around here, or have you also traveled as pilgrims?
We also
We've traveled here.
Oh, I see.
Does he seem suspicious at all?
Well, first of all, he's unarmed, at least that you could see. He has a backpack on. He has a large pouch that's on a stick that he's carrying over his shoulder. And he seems to also have he's got like work gloves on and a pair of boots. He does have some tools at his side and a length of rope, but no weapons that you could see.
Is there any symbols anywhere I could locate, like insight check maybe?
You don't see any symbols.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is your trade? What's your occupation?
We're just adventurers.
Yeah,
Ah,
simple.
Have you met Blazu?
Blazu. I don't think I have. I'm again not from around here. My home is Dariolar Shari. So by trade I'm a sailor and a fisherman, but I obviously can't do either one of those things here at the Sacred Lake. So I'm just heading back to the south to the coast, and hopefully I'll find a ship and get some work.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Hmm.
Also, so is our camp the same direction as where he's going?
So interestingly enough, after you walk with him and chat with him for a while, he's continuing down the southern road, and you guys kind of get to the point where you'd have to split off west if you wanted to go back to your camp.
Okay.
So
He doesn't seem suspicious, so I think we're probably fine to go back to camp, right?
make an insight check, either one of you guys, if you want.
All right.
All right.
This guy is the big bad evil guy of the whole campaign.
Oh no.
Big bad evil guy.
Yeah,
Where the heck did I put my die?
he's gonna literally stab you the second you turn around.
He doesn't have any weapons, so I mean, we probably should be fine.
He's gonna
Okay.
Original
secret mage.
sins.
He's gonna
Okay.
fireball you right in the back once you turn around.
I got a 10, so not great.
I got a 5, so 10 is better.
Okay, well he's walking south, and you guys are now at the point where your camp is to the west. So do you
Okay.
keep walking south with them, or do you split off?
I'll just say, I think we have to go the other way now, but it was fantastic meeting you, and I hope you find work.
Actually, and I push Magnus aside. We are looking for a captain, you would say, for a boat we might have.
Oh. Well, I'm not necessarily a captain, but I'm certainly capable of sailing. Are you heading to port? Where is this boat?
Oh, it's in like a lake nearby.
He's like, I'm not familiar with any lakes nearby. I mean, other than Mukata Suv.
Actually, I'm pretty. I think we're fine. I hope you find work. Good luck.
Oh, okay. He nods and he's like, good day. And he keeps walking south. You notice like he like turns back at one point and he's like confused and like then he just shrugs and keeps walking.
Amity.
And I telepathically say, what were you thinking? Like,
Dude.
what? I think it was a great idea, beneficial to me at least. And yeah.
We can't have like this random bro. Like, he's definitely not going to. He just partook in like one of the ceremonies. He's definitely not going to be like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. I'll help you guys. Like,
I mean, he can't take on all 5 of us. If it were the case.
Amity, he has no weapon.
Exactly.
Okay,
You'll make
so
it
are
easier.
Are you guys discussing this with St. John like in the middle of the road, or do you head to
No,
your...
we walk, I think, yeah.
No, we head back to
I like
camp.
yeah.
Okay. You guys go back to camp. The other 3 of you guys see that Amity and Magnus have found St. John. She seems to be her normal St. John self. And you guys get back to camp. St. John digs right into whatever rations you offer her because she hasn't eaten in a day. And then after that, just she like takes the nap. So anybody else want to do anything during the day?
Play with my tarantula.
I've been bonding with my hedgehog. I'm trying to train him to curl up on command.
Okay. Everybody playing with their pets, make a animal handling check.
Amity making animal handling.
Since I got you.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
23.
Nice.
My tarantula really likes me.
You have to do it.
4.
Nice.
Your bird flies away. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit in your hands.
The tarantula actually eats. You pull the legs off of a cricket, and the tarantula takes the cricket from your hand, which is exciting.
Oh, that's so cute.
The hedgehog also enjoys attention, and the bird pecks you in the cheek, but does not fly away.
Ow.
Okay, so hours pass by. It is evening. You guys presumably eat something for dinner.
A bird. No.
Yeah.
Well, do you make a fire? Does anybody like hunt, or are you just sticking with rations?
Oh, it's rations, right?
Rations.
Okay.
I guess so.
So you guys are eating dinner. Everybody make a perception check.
What?
I got a natural 1.
Ooh, I got a 17.
4.
Anybody else?
Did you roll perception?
12.
Okay.
Oh, my stuff.
You guys are like eating your rations, and all of a sudden, about 30 feet away, walking like towards your camp, you see Ven. You see this human man.
Oh,
Now,
hello
mind
there.
you, it's been about 6 hours since you saw him on the road. So he walks up to your camp and he stops at about 30 feet away and he's like, "Ho there, greetings. Is there room at your camp for another traveler?"
Hi, Ven. Yeah, come
Absolutely,
join us.
old friend.
I'm sorry, who is this?
This is Ven. He's a cool guy. No
Yeah.
worries.
Like, well met. My name is Ven. I'm a sailor and fisherman.
Sailor.
Like he sits down like on a log near your stuff. You notice those of you who have not met Ven, I will re-describe him. He is wearing like common traveler's clothes. He's got hard boots on, like work gloves. He's got a length of rope, a backpack, and he slings this big bag which was on a stick. He slings that, sets it down, and he opens it up and he pulls out some rations. See, he's got some like beef jerky and some dried fruits. You notice that he's also has like a couple tools around his belt, like seems to be pretty basically equipped. He's got a bedroll. So he sits down and he says, so I was going to head south towards the coast and see if I could get some work at Dariolar Shari. But then some folks asked me if I would come talk to you.
Who asked you?
Some rather persuasive gentlemen.
Can we roll insight?
So I'm hoping that we could have an amicable talk and that I can leave and tell them whatever it is that they need to hear.
Who asked to talk to for you to talk to us, and about what?
Where'd you find us,
Well,
first of all?
Well, you see, I cannot disclose that, but as you can see, I am unarmed. He takes off his gloves. As he takes off his gloves and sets them down, you notice that on the back of one of his hands is a red star tattoo.
Oh my god.
No!
Mother.
No!
He goes, I would like to keep this peaceful. As you can see, I am unarmed, so I'd simply like to chat with you and ask you a question.
Oh, buddy.
Do you have the Tear of Deepa?
No.
Nope.
He looks at you as you say this.
Roll insight untrue.
He goes, I see that you are telling the truth. May I ask a follow-up question?
Depends on the question.
Yeah.
Do you know where it is?
No.
Nope.
Sold it.
He goes, he kind of smirks and he's like, I'll be damned, you're telling the truth. You did have it at one point, though.
Correct.
We could have.
Is anyone trying to lie?
No.
Okay.
Not right now, no.
He smiles and he's like, this is unexpected, but perhaps it's good. No blood needs to be shed. You are telling the truth.
Yep.
Well, I guess I know what to tell my employers.
Cool. Want to finish lunch with us?
No, this is simply a cover. I need to go report back.
Okay.
But perhaps this was fortuitous for all of us because now there's no need for the Red Star to hunt you down.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
Sure.
guys tried before, and that didn't go too well for you guys, did it? The last person who came, we just kind of
Yes,
That is correct.
I believe our employers underestimated you, but I, of course, did not, which is why I came prepared with 12 archers, all of whom are aiming longbows with poisoned arrows at you right now.
Oh,
Does anyone want to roll insight to see if he's telling the truth?
yes.
No, because I already know he's lying.
4.
That's an 11.
You feel like he's telling the truth.
They probably don't.
Well, it's a good thing that we don't have it then, so
It is.
no blood needs to be shed.
Well, he finishes eating some beef jerky, packs up his bag, tosses it over his shoulder. He's like, happy travels. He nods.
Happy
and he
travels.
Okay, thanks.
Nice meeting you.
walks off into the night.
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh, what happened to? Oh, that's my friend Vem. He's a totally nice sailor guy. God,
Hey, he
he's
seemed
not
like a
everywhere.
nice guy. He wasn't armed. He seemed cool. What?
Who isn't cool to you?
I mean, most people tend to be on the cool side.
How
Mag-
old are you?
Magnus is an optimist.
The
How old
Baron's
are you?
not cool
And
though.
Aren't elves like extra old? How old are you?
I
Magnus is 250 years old.
How many?
250 years old.
How did you exist on this Earth on any of this for 250 years,
Because
trusting every person you met.
wood elves are inherently friendly people. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you guys finish your own meals, and it is now nighttime. So, what's the plan?
Is it like late night or like evening?
It's night.
I would tell the group about what Sinjin, where was he, and like why was he there, and like, yeah. So basically, she meditated all night long in the temple, which is odd to me because I thought they wouldn't like at least kick them out after a few hours, but it was like all night. So I'm guessing if we had the shawls, we could just pretend to meditate and, you know, get away and sneak to the back where the lake is.
Well, they did that on temple grounds in the
Yeah.
town. We're so far away that we could literally just go to the lake right now and just go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're a half-mile walk from the coast.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Did you throw Sinjin in on the plan? And
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's what I need to know. You guys have a lot of stuff, including animal cages. 4 of you can fit on the boat. With Sinjin, there are 6 of you. So what is your plan before you walk to the coastline?
I can swim too, and Sinjin can go on the boat.
Well, Sinjin doesn't get as tired as you might get, I think. Right, Sinjin? Would you say that you're more endurance-based than...
Yes, I would say that is true.
Are you a good swimmer?
I can swim.
Challenge.
So I
Cool.
think Sinjin and Bullstrong can swim.
Swimming race.
I can row us on the boat.
Cool.
But what are you guys going to do about all your animal cages and pets and stuff?
I don't think tarantulas do well in water, so we should probably hide them somewhere.
Sinjin asks, she's like, would it be better if I stayed here at the camp and guarded your things?
Yeah, maybe.
Depends on what we might find. Is tonight just like a scouting mission? Is
No, I
our
think
plan?
tonight we should go. I
Yeah.
don't think much. You know, we really only got one chance to.
Yeah, it's not worth trying to go like multiple times because then we're just being like needlessly risky. At least that's my opinion.
I think
Okay.
don't we also have our horses too?
Yes, Sinjin can watch them.
I think if
Alright.
we put all the horses and the pets and just take like our essential like equipment,
Okay.
and Sinjin can guard that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sinjin stays, and the rest of you guys head out. Amity has the box. You guys walk to the coastline. You look around. You don't see any like wandering monks or other travelers. And the shore is relatively quiet. All you hear is like the lapping of light waves up against the rocks.
All right. Ready
Okay.
to roll?
All right. So Amity, you walk out into the water. It's
Mhm.
pretty cold because it's lake water. But you walk out into the water and you walk about 10 feet out until you're, you know, basically at neck level.
Mhm.
You activate the boat and it begins to magically expand and it becomes a 10-foot long boat. And you climb up into it. The rest of you guys get into the boat, and Bullstrong, you're swimming.
Yeah, I'm gonna very easily get used to the water because it's very cold.
Okay. You have no problem with the cold because where you're from, it's colder at the higher altitude anyway. So this is like a refreshing bath for you. But you leave all your stuff behind and you start to swim. So you guys are in the boat. Areia is rowing. Where would you like to go?
Yeah, so where are we going, guys? Just straight out?
Are we
Probably,
gonna,
right?
An island on the lake.
How's the lighting around the lake?
You have moonlight right now. So anybody without dark vision is struggling to see.
All right,
But
well,
I think
am
all of you have dark
struggling to
vision.
see.
I don't.
Oh.
But
do.
Capella, don't you
I do
Are you
have
able
a
to
light
cast?
cantrip that I can just cast on something, but I also wanted to make sure I don't know, like nobody, because the light cantrip would probably be pretty like visible.
Yeah, would you be able to cast it on something that we could put under something like a, you know
You
how
could
they
cast it
put a
on
lantern?
Bullstrong, and then he's basically glowing in the water, and you guys could see him, and the light would be kind of diffused.
That's true.
Or
Yeah,
you can cast it on the bow of the boat, like at the front of the boat, like a flashlight, basically.
Yeah, I can cast it on something like small so that it's not super bright.
Yeah, you can cast it on like maybe part of Bullstrong and then
I'll cast it on his eye hole. He has that thing. I'll cast it on there.
Okay.
I have like a
Right.
hat built in now.
So, who's kind of looking out towards the front? Who's looking? And I mean, I know Aria's rowing, so her back is actually away.
yeah, I don't have dark vision, so it's
So
probably
I'm
up to you
guiding.
guys to be my eyeballs.
So let's say like this. I want to know who's in the front. I want to know who's in the back, and I'm assuming that Aria's in the middle rowing. So who's in the front and who's in the back?
I think Magnus should be in the front because she has the best vision.
Okay.
I'll
And
be
then
in the back.
Capella and Amity are in the back.
Yes.
And then Bullstrong, are you on the right side of the boat or the left side?
The left side feels lucky today.
Okay. All right. So you guys start going out, and you're making good time. You're swimming along, and you guys are in the boat. And as you go further out into the lake, you see the shoreline kind of disappear behind you. The light of the moon and the stars is pretty much illuminating, barely illuminating the waterline, but you do have the light cantrip as well. So you make your way out, and you're well into the lake. Anything in particular you want to do, or are you just kind of rowing?
Can I
Yeah.
do a perception check just to make sure like everything's okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one as well, looking under the water.
Ah, good.
Oh, whisper sea shanties.
Okay.
You're just whispering them in my ear as I'm trying to row.
9.
Okay.
22.
Oh,
So I'll do the 9 first. You see like fish occasionally, and they
fish.
seem to like dart out of the way when you and the boat get closer. And the 22, you see, as you guys are going out, you see kind of just barely visible on the horizon of your vision, illuminated basically just by like the moonlight. You see like something further out, like maybe a half mile away into the middle of the lake. It looks like it's something sticking out,
Something sticking out. Can I tell like how big or what shape or?
like pretty big, like some kind of landmass. Rocky looking, maybe.
Okay, I'll tell everyone this.
Okay.
Okay. I see something sticking out a little bit ahead, just so you guys know.
Like an island or a landmass or like
Yeah, it seems like something that scale. It's definitely not
Okay.
like a boat. I mean, it's big.
okay.
Yeah.
So is that where we're stopping? Is that where we're looking for this thing, you think? It might be there?
We could. What do you guys think?
I think we could probably like pull the boat up to it, try to hit it for a second. Plus, then it'll give Bullstrong a chance to catch his breath and see if we can see anything. Otherwise, that might also be a good place to stop the boat if we need to actually dive.
DJ, what is your constitution?
What is the barbarian?
It is 14.
Okay. You're fine.
All right.
It's not like you're racing or fighting in the water, so I'm not going to make you make a check. You're basically just swimming alongside the boat. So you guys continue in that direction. And as you get closer, I'll say like it's still not within your dark vision range, but you're maybe like 200 feet away. You can now clearly see that you were approaching an island, and it is a rocky island. Like, and by rocky, I mean like big kind of, not a mountain, but like rock structures stick up from the ocean. You don't see any like vegetation. There's no like trees.
I think we should be very careful because we're not sure if something is on that island, meaning people or creatures, but I think we should be careful.
All right. You guys are all like very aware. You're kind of looking around in all directions. You get closer to the island, and from where you're coming, it's just like just imagine huge hill of rock, like just solid rock with larger boulders and smaller boulders and little like niches and alcoves. And that's kind of the shore that you're approaching. There really isn't a good way to like, there's no like beach. So there's like, one of you would have to like jump off with a rope and pull the boat up in order to get up there. And even Bullstrong, if you wanted to climb up from this point, you would have to make an athletics check because there's no, you're going from like deep to try to climb up a wet rock.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah. Could I climb on the boat and use that to kind of like gain a height advantage?
You could after somebody gets off, but if you tried to climb on the boat while everybody else was on there, there's a good chance that you'd capsize it.
Okay.
Now, another option is you could just kind of circle around the coastline of this rocky island to see if there's another area that might be more suitable.
And
Yeah.
I'll just jump to the coast if that's fine.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
$23.
Oh, easy. So Areia kind of rows the boat up next to the rocks. You kind of do a little like 1-2 jump. You grab onto the rocks and pull yourself up.
All right.
So
Now,
feeling
if
challenged?
you throw a rope to someone, I won't have them make an athletics check because basically you could use the rope, tie it around a rock, and secure the boat close enough so that people can just step up onto the rocks.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So a few minutes later, you guys are basically as close to docked as you can be, and you all pull yourselves up, helping each other up, and you are on this rocky island. As you're looking around at the initial place where you've landed, the rock is all very dark gray or black rock with a lot of porous appearance. It almost looks, for the Goliaths, it looks very similar to kind of like a volcanic rock almost. A lot of it has been smoothed by the effect of like the waves crashing onto the rocks. But as you go a little bit more inland, you see that this island is probably maybe a half mile around. And there's a lot of different elevations. Like you can, as you go towards the center of the isle, it gets higher, almost like a mountain peak. So you're on the island. What do you want to do?
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Is it just me or does this rock look like kind of like volcanic rock?
Yeah, for sure.
It feels like this is kind of weird rock to be in the middle of a lake in the middle of the continent.
Do you know why this would be here?
No, but the only thing that I can think of right now is that in all those books we read back at the library, remember when Vorsu was talking about the mouth of Deepa being a volcano?
Oh.
I don't know
Maybe?
what that means. I don't know if there's a connection there. This seems like rock that's more black, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that we should be careful because this seems like really weird.
Do you guys want to head down and check things out, or?
We could search around here for a little bit. We could also, if somebody wants to try to like swim down, I could always try to, but you know, not without like, we don't need to take the water breathing right now, but just drop down back into the water and see how deep they can swim to get a better look at things.
Yeah, I think we should be maybe a little more discreet or cautious or sneaky.
Yeah.
Because it just feels weird to me that it's like a sacred lake, and then there's this weird landmass in the middle that we've never heard of before.
Mm.
I
It's a
mean,
fair point.
it appears on the map.
True, but the monks don't. They didn't never mentioned anything about this.
Uh,
So I don't know. I'm all for exploring. I think we should just be careful.
Yeah, we can walk around and check things out.
So are you staying together, splitting up? What are you guys going to do?
I think we should all explore together and then go under.
okay.
Okay. So you begin exploring, and I'm going to have all of you make investigation checks, because basically what you're doing is kind of slowly walking around these rocks, climbing over little ledges, kind of doing a perimeter walk.
That's a nat 20.
Okay.
Whoa. I got a 15.
So here's what you discover. You spend 2 hours walking around the perimeter, basically around the coastline, even though there's no coast. And as you discover this, at no point do you find like where it gradually drops off into a beach. The entire perimeter of this island is all rough rock. And
Weird.
only the very edges of it have been smoothed by like water erosion, but the rest of it is this volcanic kind of like pockmarked rock. There are sharp ledges, but you spend 2 hours going around the entire island, okay? And the only areas you haven't checked out are going towards the middle of the island, because that would require rock climbing to get to the top.
Can we check out the top?
You can. Now, for that, I will say that you will have to climb, like with equipment, and everybody will have to make successful climbing checks. So I want you, before you to roll dice, I want you to describe how we were going to try to climb this.
So would these be athletics checks?
Yes.
Okay. Should
Now-
we have everyone do this? Or like, what do you guys think about this first?
I think if
Come
we
up
all
with your strategy and discuss it.
I think if we all wanted to go up there, we have rope and climbing equipment. I think
I
that-
may have a spell just to climb quickly, maybe.
Oh really?
Could you always use that, but just only me, or should we as a group? What's better?
If you all want to go up there, I don't know. Like I could be maybe towards the bottom because I'm good at climbing stuff. So if one of you like slipped, I could catch you. But
I don't know. Whatever you guys think.
Who's the fastest?
It seems a little, I don't know, it just seems a little bit like it's going to be dangerous. And I'm not sure exactly what would be up there. Because I'm pretty sure the stone wouldn't be up there.
Food?
I mean,
It
we
might.
literally don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like we should check everywhere just in case. You know?
If you just wanted, like, Bullstrong and I could probably get up there and then tell you what we see and come back down.
That might be a better trade, because I don't know if we need to send everybody up on this. Especially
Okay.
for inconspicuousness.
Okay, so we'll take the climbing
What equipment are you using to make it climb?
You guys have rope, right?
I'll cast spider climb on Bullstrong.
Dude, you
Okay.
have spider climb? That's awesome.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
How long
Based
does
on-
that last?
1 hour. Yes.
What happened to me?
Bullstrong, you're like, I don't need any rope. And you start climbing, and you're like, this is fantastic. It reminds me of home, except rockier and more jagged and painful, but I climb. You get to the top.
Okay.
It takes you about 20 minutes, but you get to the top very easily.
My hands hurt.
Areia, do you wait for Bullstrong to come back down, or are you also going to try to climb? Your climbing speed will be half of what his was.
Yeah, so can he hear me if I yelled up there or no?
Possibly.
Okay,
He's
I'll go.
It's about 200 feet up.
Okay, I will cast guidance on myself and start climbing with
Okay.
rope and stuff.
Make the athletics check and add in your guidance.
Okay, here we go. Athletics. That's 20 plus 25.
Okay. So here's what happens. Bullstrong, you make it to the top of this peak. And you look back down, and Areia's like halfway up still. When you get to the top of the peak, there's basically a plateau that's about 200 feet across, like a flat. And as you're walking around, you stop. Point of order, what is your light source?
His eye.
Yeah,
Isn't his eye glowing?
Does that light cantrip last long enough?
I think so.
Or did you reactivate it prior to his climb?
Yeah.
How long does that last?
Where can I find one?
The barbarian.
It's an hour.
An hour. Okay. So here's the scoop. Thanks to your trusty eyeball flashlight, you stop just short of falling into a giant chasm.
Oh my god.
Because about 50 feet in from the lip of this plateau, there's an enormous, for as far as you could see in either direction, opening that drops back down into the Rocky Mountain for as far as you could see. In fact, you can't even see the bottom.
Can I try to throw a rock down?
Sure. You grab a rock, you toss it down, and you're like, ploop. You hear it's the sound of a ploop, like the rock fell into water.
So we'd be fine, right?
So I'm gonna go back over to where Areia was climbing, since she's probably like either almost here or whatever, and just say to her, "I found a big hole."
How big?
Like 17 dragons long.
Huh. Is that all that's up there?
It's got water at the bottom, I think, or somebody peed.
Huh. Okay. I think that maybe we should come down.
Well, your spider climb still works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just walk down. You're like, doop 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 doop, and you walk past Areia as she's like lowering herself carefully. You just walk past her. You get to the bottom. So you guys see Bullstrong descend, and he arrives. Now they didn't hear anything that you said to Areia because they were too far away. So what do you say?
So I found probably the biggest hole I've ever seen, or at least the second biggest hole I've ever seen. And I think there's water at the bottom. I threw a rock and it went ploop, which either means water or some other liquid.
It's probably in there, right?
It could be meat at the bottom.
It does seem like an interesting place. If I were to hide a sacred crystal thing, it seems like a good place for it to be.
It could
We
just
should
be
check
a
it out.
rock.
It seems like our best bet so far. Because if it's not in there, then we're going to have to literally just, like, be blindly diving under the lake. Plus, then at least this provides some, like, hide for us, so you can't actually see, even if you were to look over. So we could try it. If you climb back up, maybe you could like tie something up so that it's easier for everyone else to climb.
Yeah.
How many of you have rope?
I have an explorer's pack, which I assume has rope.
Yes.
I also,
We got some from that old lady.
yeah, I have an explorer's pack.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 50 feet, 50 feet. Who else has rope?
I have rope.
That's another 50, and then Areia.
Okay.
So you figure that if you give all the rope to Bullstrong and he knots it together, that you'll have 200 feet of rope. He could climb up and secure it, and then all of you guys can make that athletics check with advantage.
Awesome.
The Boy Scout training.
Okay, so
Which check is
Bullstrong. Bullstrong, you gather the rope, you knot it effectively, you run back up to the top, and you drop down this load of rope. I want each one of you, one at a time, to make a athletics check with advantage and tell me the final result, starting with Jordan.
With advantage?
Let me-
That is 18.
Good enough. All right. Magnus.
Okay, athletics. Okay, that would be. I can do math. 23.
Good enough. Capella.
With advantage?
Yes.
26.
Okay. And Amity.
He falls and he dies.
3, but I have proficiency in athletics, so.
So you get to roll with advantage.
Did you roll twice and take the higher number?
Oh, my bad. Sorry. 18.
Good. So after about another half an hour, all of you are at the top. And Bullstrong, the light cantrip needs to be reactivated. But once Capella reactivates that, he gently walks you over towards the lip. And now you see what he saw, which is at the top of this mountainous peak is a plateau that opens up into this enormous chasm, like easily 100 feet across, and it drops down for as far as any of you can see.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
guys, you know when I said earlier that the rock seemed kind of like volcanic rock to me? I'm not quite sure, but this seems like a volcano.
Just to be clear, you do not see the bottom because you estimate that it's at least as far down as the coast that you just climbed up from, which would be 200 feet. And unless I'm mistaken, nobody has dark vision that far, correct?
No.
Okay. You do not feel any, Magnus, as you're kind of looking down there, you don't feel any difference in air temperature. It doesn't feel like warmer. There's no like steam coming out of it.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't feel warmer and there's no steam, then I mean, it would probably be not safe, but safer to check out than we think, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem...
I had an idea. What
Yeah.
if, because like I can cast the light cantrip just like it'll leave the last thing that I can recast. If I take like a nice rock
Yep,
and I light cantrip it and I throw it down.
you do. You chuck this glowing light down and you see it descend far past the range of your dark vision. And you see it splash into this milky white pool of water. And then it kind of like sinks to the bottom.
Milky white?
What?
That's what it looked like from 200 feet above.
Could be the splash. Sea
Okay.
foam.
It could be hot water.
Who wants to hop in?
Well, we could always take the rope
Not-
that we just
Just
used and
flip
at least
it.
lower ourselves.
Yes.
Like secure that. We'll
Yeah.
lower ourselves. Also, I'll recast his headlights so he can see.
Okay. So you basically pull the rope up, you flip it over and down into the chasm. You recast the light cantrip on Bullstrong. Now the spider climb has worn off. So if you guys want to climb down into the chasm with the benefit of the rope, rappelling down slowly, I will let you make another athletics check.
Are all of us going down there, or should just one person go and see what...
That's up to you. I need to know who's going down in order. So
Amity, can you cast that spell again?
I could just go
Let me check.
cast it on my fingies.
I've been like, okay,
If not, I could always.
No, I don't think it's a one action.
Okay. Okay.
I think we should all head down, right?
I mean, I guess I'm just worrying if something is like dangerous down there.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if anybody has a hard time with athletics. You might want to wait until somebody goes down, because if it's something dangerous, then somebody with that's a little better at climbing will have a better chance to come back up than somebody who isn't. So I don't know if anybody like specifically isn't good at that.
I mean, I feel like my plan is that either Bullstrong or I go down, and
Well,
then
neither of you have dark vision. Well,
I got my headlamp.
Yeah. And then Magnus could go down too, because Magnus is very good at looking for things. So I don't know if you wanted to go like Bullstrong goes first and then Magnus goes afterwards. So if Magnus slips, then Bullstrong can catch him.
Sounds good.
I'm also proficient in athletics.
Okay.
Same.
So
2.
Bullstrong's the first one to climb down the rope.
Yeah.
Make your athletics check.
With advantage.
Yes. So you're basically rappelling down.
18.
Okay. And who's down second? Magnus?
I cast guidance on Magnus as he goes down.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Make
awesome.
your roll.
And this is with advantage?
Yep.
Okay. Wow, I rolled the same thing twice. And guidance is an extra D4? Okay, so that's... I can do math.
I can't.
18.
Okay. So
Thank you.
here's what you guys see. The chasm is pretty much symmetrical going down, almost like going down a cone. But when you get to the bottom 50 feet, it sort of flares out and expands. So you get to a point where like you no longer have, you're like rappelling down this interior wall, and then it sort of flares out. So now you're kind of free hanging. But as you get down to that range, you see that there is water.
Ooh.
There's like it kind of opens up into an underground cave, and there's a pool of like milky white water. Now, if you swing on the rope, you can actually swing and land kind of on this rocky beach that surrounds the pool. And then the caverns go off from there.
Yeah, so I'll swing over to the little beach and then hold the rope to kind of secure it so it's easier for Magnus to just slither down.
Okay. So you do
Slither.
that. Magnus climbs down the rope, kind of hanging off of it while climbing down, and you guys both kind of land on this rocky beach. And as you're this close now, you could see that this water is, it is a weird, it's like a white, milky color. But it's not hot, it doesn't smell funny.
So we have no clue what it is, though?
You smell it, it smells like water. Do you want to like taste it?
Yeah, I'm gonna dip. Do I have my axe and equipment currently?
You have your axe slung to your back.
All right, so I'm gonna just dip it in the water and kind of lick it off the blade to see what's the flavor profile.
It tastes like salt water.
This is salt.
Like not like fresh water, like the lake. It tastes like salt water.
That's weird.
This is ocean water.
Well, that's odd. And
Bear in
why is
mind
it
there's
white?
Bear in mind that there's no waves. It's completely still.
Waiting
Okay.
at the top, I want to yell down and be like, "How is it?"
Salty.
And white.
Oh,
Yes.
All right. So what do you do?
Should the rest of us come down there?
I'm just gonna like spin the rope kind of send a signal like, hey, maybe you should do something with the rope.
Okay.
I want to climb down first.
All right. Make your roll.
Still holding onto it to secure it.
Oh, net 20. Got him.
You're down.
Ooh.
Next.
Okay, I'll go next.
Start with a fucking sweet monkey.
That's good. 19 plus. That's 25.
Okay. And I assume, Bullstrong, that you're anchoring the rope so that
Yeah,
when
I'm
they
still
get
holding
down, they can kind of hold. All right. So Amity, you're the last one. Roll.
All right.
Fall in the water.
No, I'm
No.
under Amity, like keeping an eye out on
At
him.
20.
Okay.
21.
Oh, man, look at us.
Let me describe where you guys are.
You know.
As I mentioned, as the chasm flared out, it opens up into this underground sort of like grotto. In the center of this space, like kind of straight down from that cylinder that you just descended from, is this milky white pool that's just still. And then the caverns open up and go outward in all directions. And they split off into little fissures and caves. But the interior rock is the same as the rock that you ascended. It's this porous black rock.
So it's not in here, like we can't see it, right?
See what?
The tier.
You don't see anything. I mean, you guys want to make investigation rolls?
Yes.
And where are you searching?
We should probably look in the milky water, right?
If we can.
Can we see in the water? Like if we
It's
were like.
milky.
Can I
like
use
opaque.
Eldritch Sight to detect magic if it's like pressured?
Absolutely. What's the range on that?
Let's check quickly. Sorry. Okay. There we go. Sorry.
Side note, what is the approximate, like,
The diameter of the pool is 100 feet. So it's 50 feet to the center.
Here it is.
The rain.
And you don't know the depth because no one's gone out into it.
Okay.
can I try to, while he's figuring that out?
300. Wait, no, that's wrong. Sorry.
That's
It's the
okay.
last.
I want to try to dip my lance in
Yep.
and see how far it.
Object.
So you dip your lance for as far as you can reach without walking out in the water. And it's only a couple feet deep initially. It like goes from basically beach where you guys are standing, a few inches deep. And then by the time it gets to your lance, you figure it's about 3 feet deep. So kind of like a pond.
Andrea, are you just casting Detect Magic?
No, it's Eldritch Sight. That's like my feature.
Eldritch Sight. Yeah, Eldritch Sight just lets you cast it at will,
Oh, okay.
which means that it's 30 feet.
So you scan 30 feet outwards and around you, and you do not detect any magic.
All right.
But because you can do that at will, you're free to do that anytime you want.
All right. Cool.
So we touched the water and it didn't do anything to us, right?
Nope.
Well, we should probably like,
Bullstrong tasted it.
and he's fine.
Yep.
Maybe.
So,
Capella, how far down does it go?
well, so far in Lance's reach, it only went about 3 feet. So I imagine it has a gradual incline, but we'd have to go farther in. I could tread out more in the water, like 2 to 3 feet's length.
You should take Amity with you, considering he can detect for this stuff.
Okay, me and
Okay.
Amity are gonna go tread out into the water. And
Okay.
Swim.
You walk out about 10 feet from the shoreline, and it's about 5 feet deep at that point. So your neck is above the water.
That looks so not safe.
It's
you want to try again,
fine.
Amity?
Oh, yeah.
Do you detect magic?
Yeah.
Using your Elder Sight, you detect magic. And in fact, you detect magic. You detect a lot of magic in the middle of the pool.
Like where I'm standing or like in front of
No,
me?
you're facing the center of the pool,
Oh, okay.
center of this underground grotto pool. And at the center, you detect magic.
Capella, I think it's right over there. Some.
Well, it could be anything. What if we could use a
Amity, what kind of magic is it?
It's like heavy magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heavy magic.
where is
Heavy magic.
What school of magic, you idiot?
Heavy.
When you detect magic, you should just be
You are
able to figure
familiar
out-
with this school of magic as being summoning.
I say summoning.
That's not great. Conjuration magic summons creatures more often than not.
Should we
You
go
should-
touch it?
No.
I think you should go touch it.
What kind of armor are you wearing, Capella?
Oh boy.
Good question. Chainmail.
It occurs to you that it's going to be difficult to swim any further out if you actually want to make a swimming check while you're wearing that armor.
That's a bad idea. I'm gonna come back out of the water.
Okay.
I can't swim in chainmail, but I know Bullstrong can. He doesn't have to wear armor. Bullstrong, you wanna go swim out in the lake and touch it? Yes.
The lake is inside me, and I shall be inside the lake.
Okay. You swim out to the lake. You start swimming out. It's just like swimming in water. It's actually a little easier. The salt water
Buoyant.
allows you to be a little more buoyant, and you're just swimming out. And you get out to about the middle of the lake. And that is when you're going to make a strength saving throw.
Well,
there's something in there. It's gonna get Bullstrong.
Bro.
I'm glad I didn't.
Right?
there is 2 uses of conjuration magic: summoning creatures and teleportation. Neither of those are good.
16.
Be fine.
16. You succeed. You only take 13 hit points of damage, and you're flung back as a giant explosion of milky water sends you flying through the air 20 feet back, and you splash down in the pool towards your friend. So take
Can we
13
pull
hit
him
points of
out?
bludgeoning damage.
What was that?
You didn't see anything. You just saw an explosion of water, and you see Bullstrong fly through the air and splash down in the water closer to you guys.
Oh, and I should have made sure I said this, but Capella is now holding the rope since we switched like positions.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That's all. The water settles back.
Can I take a rock off the coast
Sure.
and throw it into where
Yep.
Bullstrong was?
You do. It splashes. Kaplump. Big splash. Water settles back.
That's
What
weird.
was that? I touched you.
I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever it is, it seems to only be impacted when a
Never say
living
never,
thing.
I don't know.
It seems to only impact when a living thing goes near it, I guess, because the rock didn't do anything.
Maybe it can smell or taste.
Well, how do we even I'm assuming that's probably where it is if there's like a big thing hiding down there, right?
Well,
Or-
remember that I said you are in a vast cavern, and there are little fissures and caves that shoot off from this central area in multiple directions.
Maybe it's in one of the caves and the monster thing is a distraction.
Maybe it's not even a monster. Maybe it's just some kind of force that won't let us go near it.
Maybe we can befriend it.
Anybody got
No.
lightning? Anybody can shoot lightning here?
I got Ray of Frost, Firebolt,
That's
Thunder
sacred
Wave.
flame.
Thunderwave sounds pretty lightning-y.
What if you electrocute the water?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Thunder Wave electrocutes.
Just loud.
No.
Okay, let's explore the
We're in an
fissures.
We're in an
Let's-
echo chamber right now, so our eardrums will explode if you use that thunder one.
That's true. You all take damage.
Yeah,
let's
I can
explore
cast Sacred Flame on it. That's like it's not fire magic, it's like radiant magic. You want me to try it? They have to make a deck save.
All right. You're going to roll a d6 and tell me what the result is.
Right. 3.
Okay, because you're blind to hurricane something. You cast
Yeah.
Sacred Flame,
I can mash them all
and it
together
illuminates
in a
everything, and
collage.
then nothing happens.
Okay.
I have
Well-
no clue what to do.
Let's go look at the fissures first and see what's in there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can try looking at the cave stuff.
Okay. So I will have you as a group. I'm assuming that you're not going to split up. So I will let Magnus make an investigation check with the group assisting, so you can roll with advantage.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, second time I got a nat 20.
Okay. You guys spend about another hour exploring these different caverns. You go through some of these caves until they just stop. You come back, you go out and find another place. You look, you stop. And eventually, after exploring for about an hour, you find a cave that leads further in. And then it opens up into a cavern that's also like a grotto, but nowhere near as grand. Okay. So this cavern, as you get closer to it, is illuminated by a soft blue phosphorescent glow. There's basically the cavern diameter is about 40 feet, but it goes up into like a naturally formed vaulted ceiling that's also 40 feet tall. In the center of this cavern is a rock statue of a female. And that rock statue is carved from the very same black rock. But you could tell by the carving that this was man-made and carved of the rock, hewn from the rock. And this female form seems to be basically like in a standing position, looking out the cave door. So like you were walking in and you see this position. And she seems to be like holding her breasts with her hand. And you see that there's like mineral deposits from the rock, like leaking down basically from where the breasts are into a small pool below. And that milky white fluid is the same as the pool that you guys had just dealt with. And there's a blue, soft glow from this phosphorescence, like this underground phosphorescent blue algae that is also emanating from where her hands are. So basically like her breasts are glowing from where her hands are.
What?
Amity,
That statue is 20 feet tall. So you can't
Oh my
quite
God.
see what is causing that blue phosphorescent glow.
Amity, is there magic in here?
Go detect magic.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
detect
yes.
magic.
As
Also,
you
So,
get
yeah.
closer to the statue, your detect magic goes through the roof. As you're concentrating on the statue and specifically whatever's creating that blue phosphorescent glow is stronger in that area where her hands are coming together
Mhm.
and cupping her breasts.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
Areia.
like if there's a place where it might be, I think it might be there.
you always gotta look for the breasts.
Mm.
No, last time we found one though, wasn't it in this like there was like a statue there too. So I think
So wouldn't it be more about statues and less about breasts?
both are good. Okay, so what if we could lift someone up to try, like if somebody can vault me up, I can try to examine closer what is the light, like what's causing the glow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to examine, but I wouldn't recommend touching anything because
I'm
something
not gonna
tells.
grope her.
Well, I'm talking about if the crystal is up there. I feel like whatever's in that back chamber has maybe something to do with what's in here. Because last time that we took the tier, we had the hordes of demons coming after us. So I feel like this one isn't gonna not be guarded too.
Well, how are we going to obtain it? Like,
I don't know. It might not be up
at least
there.
I'll see if like we can locate it in there.
Yeah. Do you want me to lift you up? I can vault
Yes.
you.
Make an athletics check.
Okay. Not natural 20.
Okay. Jennie, as you are vaulted up, you grab onto basically this statue of what you assume to be Vusek. You vault up, you grab onto her arms, and nestled between her statuesque breast is a small blue crystal, and it's emanating a glow, a bluish glow. It looks like it's precisely the same size and faceted in appearance as what you remember to be the Tear of Deepa, but this one glows blue.
You guys, I found the cleavage stone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, are we underwater right now?
No, isn't it? Where does the water fall around her? Is it just like a little?
I'm saying
It's basically dripping down from the statue into a little pool, and you see that this is the same viscosity, the same appearance as the white pool that you encountered when you descended the chasm.
And is the white pool at where the sea level would be outside of this place or lower?
You think maybe slightly above.
Okay.
Like this would be at ground level, like when you first got off the boat. That's your estimation.
Yeah. Okay.
This seems kind of easy.
Well,
that's the problem.
I think we're going to have to take it out. Like even if you Indiana Jones it and you like switch it with something, it's still probably.
I say, can more than I know Magnus can cast Mage Hand. Amity, can you cast Mage Hand?
Yeah, I could.
I mean, we could always try that. Do the old
I-
switcheroo.
Okay.
But something tells me that when we disturb this, that whatever's in that pool outside is gonna know.
Probably.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if we're willing to fight something,
I think we're gonna have to either way. I think what I can do is I can pick it out, and if you want to try to mage hand something else there.
Okay.
I really don't think that's gonna work.
Well, we have.
it's worth a shot.
So the problem is the people with Mage Hand can't see what they're trying to Mage Hand.
Hmm.
So how are
I
you?
mean,
Well,
if
Bullstrong-
if Bullstrong and I lifted Magnus and Amity up,
Yeah, they can make a climb check and they could see it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you're up. You see this small blue glowing crystal, perfectly faceted, nestled in this statue of Vusek.
So, I can do. Do you have can you mage hand a little pebble or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm just gonna pick the tit stone. I don't know.
All right, Jennie, roll a death save. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing happens. You grab the stone. It
Guys,
feels,
this is scary.
by the way, it feels in weight the same as the tear felt. It's got about the same density, mass. So it feels about the same.
How big are they again?
About the size of a big D20.
Bless you.
okay.
This is too easy. This is scary. I don't like
You
it.
have it.
Okay.
Well,
Should we
so
just get out
tuck
of
that
here?
back into my
So we've
pocket.
gone through all the caves in here.
Yeah. You've been you guys aren't sure exactly what time it is, but remember that it took you an hour to get out to the island. You explored the island for an hour and then you climbed and then you I mean, it's been hours. You guys have been doing this all night.
Yeah.
You figure it's probably 2 or 3 in the morning.
Okay. Well, I think we should get out of here before the sun comes up.
All right, but
Okay.
So I want to know who has the crystal?
Me.
Jennie? And where is it?
In my close pocket thing.
Okay. All right. So you guys have it. Do you head back through the cave towards the chasm?
I guess that's the only way we can get out. That's where our rope is.
Okay. You do. And you guys walk over along the little coastline surrounding the grotto pond, and your rope is still there, secured by a rock.
Okay.
And Magnus, you have superior levels of perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need to make a roll. You notice that remember how I said the milky water was like perfectly still?
Yeah.
You notice that there's like some wavy motion coming towards you guys just slowly from the center of the pool. Something under the water. There's little
Hey,
ripples of
guys.
water.
There's something moving.
What if we just run away? What if we just start
Yeah.
climbing?
Yeah, what if Capella just goes as fast as she can?
That's a bad idea. Because what if she falls into the thing?
Then I'll die. I don't know what to tell you.
Then don't
mean-
climb. Don't climb. That's a
So
bad
what do you
idea.
do?
So how
Amity.
big is it?
It looks pretty big.
I
Amity,
don't know.
Risky.
You can't cast Spider Climb again?
I think after
How many spell slots do you have?
2.
So you could cast Spider Climb again.
I could, yes. Let's.
Cast
What if-
it twice.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did
Cast
cast
it
it twice.
twice. He cast it the first time he cast it was on Bullstrong.
Going up the
Yeah.
mountain, yeah.
Didn't he cast it twice?
Oh no,
I
it was
thought you
just
said
the
he
whole
did.
hour.
Yeah,
Actually.
Bullstrong climbed down
Oh.
on his own.
So I guess he could.
You could cast on Capella and she could run up the side of the...
Ding.
All right, I'm gonna climb.
Go.
Okay.
Go,
Capella,
go.
you start climbing upside down, remember, because you have to get to the cone. And you guys notice that the water stops moving and then all of a sudden it bursts up
Well,
into this watery form and it swats Capella down off the wall. What's your armor class?
My armor class is, I guess it would be, it's like 15.
Is it
for
26?
climbing.
Is your armor class 26?
No.
Oh, well. You take 7 points of damage as you are slammed.
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought.
You are knocked off the wall and you fall on the rocky beach next to your friends. Before you guys is a large liquid form with just amorphous kind of appendages moving around, made of this white, milky, watery appearance. And it is now standing at about 15 feet in height. It's not attacking you guys. It just swatted her down.
Dude, you ate that.
And it begins making noises. It's like, list off your known languages.
I know Common, Giant,
Common, Giant, and what?
and Draconic.
Okay, nope. Anybody
Celestial
else?
and Abyssal.
Nope. Anybody
Nope.
else?
Common, Elvish, Sylvan, and Aquan.
Oh, really?
Magnus.
Magnus, guess what? You understand the milky creature.
Yes!
It's a breast milk
You
monster.
speak milk. You speak milk.
In a very strange, audible sound that no one else seems to understand, you actually hear this thing speaking to your group.
So it's Aquan?
Yes, in Aquan, and it says, "Why do you disturb the milk of Vusake?"
We just came down here to get the tier and go. We don't mean to disturb you.
It's not even the tear.
What
it's the
do you
milk.
mean by tear?
The stone.
You have taken the milk of Vusake. Why?
We didn't take your milk. I mean, he ate some. I'm sorry.
The form basically makes an appendage that looks kind of like a humanoid hand, but with maybe less fingers, and points at Jennie.
Oh,
Magnus, are you talking to it right now?
That
whatever
one,
Yeah.
you're saying, can you
that
please-
one has the milk of Vusake. Why have you taken it?
What is it
Because-
asking you?
She, I don't know, is asking why we've taken the milk of Vusake.
Well, I
Tell
think-
it that well, we're taking it because other people are trying to take it to like destroy the continent, so we're trying to protect it.
Okay, so we're taking it because other people are trying to get it that are bad people, and they're trying to destroy the continent, and we need to save the continent and get this so that it doesn't fall in the wrong hands, because it's very powerful. So we would appreciate if you would please let it have it and live, and we could be friends.
We do not know bad or good. What does this mean?
Talk about the void. They don't like the
Yeah.
Amities.
Taik.
So, well, they said we don't know good or bad. Like, how do you explain good and bad?
Well,
Just tell him that Taik's trying to get it, because the gods don't like Taik.
Taik's trying to get it.
It seems to, it like shrinks back away from you for a moment. Who possesses the blessing of Vusake?
It says who possesses the blessing of Vusake.
Korpai Gomber, right? He
So-
does.
So after you translate this, Magnus, and Areia says that, the form turns to Areia.
Magnus, why is it looking at me?
And it does another like water appendage that points at Areia.
Oh God.
And it says to you in Aquan, again, Magnus, reveal the blessing of Vusake.
He says reveal the blessing of Vusake.
The chosen of, and then it says to you, Magnus, again in Aquan, the chosen of water has a symbol, reveal it.
The chosen of water has a symbol, reveal it.
Whoa, it's this thing, right?
When Capella does that with her hands, suddenly the thing like, it goes from like 15 feet to like 6 feet in its blobbish form.
You put your ring finger down and then it's these two. You guys?
And it seems to just be waiting there.
Are you gonna kill us?
Yes. Squish.
Can you tell it?
We guard the milk of Vusake. The chosen one has decided that this one should have the milk of Vusake. And it makes a pointy appendage at Capella.
Oh, so we're good. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna be fine.
Or it's gonna let us leave now?
I think
wanna
so.
Try to just. Is the spell
Okay.
still on me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to climb back up again.
Okay. It just sits there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Magnus, please tell the big creature thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Enoch.
thank you.
You see it doesn't acknowledge you because it's an elemental and has no emotions. So it just floats back into the milk pool.
The breast milk monster.
So
Okay,
you guys
okay.
each in turn ascend the rope and you get to the lip of the crater. You get up to the top. It's still nighttime. You estimate maybe like 3 or 4 in the morning. You pull the rope up, toss the rope over the other side, carefully descend, and bless you.
And sneeze.
And I'm assuming since Jennie has spider climbed that she's going to liberate the rope from the top once all of you guys have climbed down and bring it down.
Yes.
Right about the time that you get through all of that stuff, the spider climb begins to wear off and you are now back on the regular coastline. You gather up all your rope and you make your way back to the boat, which you find is still tethered, bumping up against the rocks from the waves, but still tethered and still there. And you guys can get into the boat.
Yeah.
Bullstrong, are you swimming back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you set your axe in the boat with the others. I'm assuming you guys are on the same setup where the light cantrip is on Bullstrong and Magnus is at the front, Amity and Capella are at the back, and Areia are rowing.
Yes.
You guys row back across the lake in the westernly direction that you think is kind of where you are towards your camp. And You guys get back. You get back up to the rocky beach. You look around. No one seems to be around. You all get off the boat, get your stuff. Amity uses the final power word to collapse the boat, and it returns to its wooden box form, which you tuck into your robes. And you guys make your way back a little bit west, go about a half mile, you find your camp. And you see that, in fact, St. John is awake and stands up by the fire when you guys get closer and like looks, and then is like, you have returned. And then she sits down by the fire.
Yeah, we're back.
So were you successful?
Indeed.
Yeah. See, we got it.
We
I
talked
want
to
to show her
Milk.
the little.
Wait, guys, what if the red star is watching us?
Then we'll kill them.
Make them dead.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of D&D with high school students. Thank you all for watching. One more time, thank you to my patrons, especially Ann Adams, for sending these awesome gaming headsets. And we hope you guys enjoyed this adventure. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you.
He did
Take
it.
us away.
you.
Papa.
Rituals sometimes transform people.